Last week, we laid out the big picture, the 1,277 voices behind our 2026 Dealership Service Retention Report, why price has moved to the front of the line, and how the rules of the service drive have officially changed. But knowing that customers are leaving isn't enough. The real question is why, and more specifically, what's the one thing pushing them out the door that most service teams never even see coming? Today, we're going to dive deeper into the data. This is episode 2, The Anatomy of Defection. We're going to look at the specific reasons why your customers walk away, break down what the 1,277 drivers in our study actually told us about where they go next, and reveal what we call the hidden defection trigger. If you think you know why your customers leave, I'll bet this data surprises you. So let me first set the stage. Across all three of our studies, 2020, 2023, and 2026, the reasons customers leave have been remarkably consistent. That consistency is actually important. It means that these aren't trends, these are the rules. The top 2 defection drivers have held their positions across all 3 reports. Number 1, a bad experience at the dealership. Number 2, a lower price elsewhere. That stat is worth sitting with. Half your customers say a single bad experience is enough to send them somewhere else. Not a pattern, one visit. Rounding out the top 3 is limited service appointment availability, cited by 26% of respondents. That's down from where it was in 2023 when staffing shortages made this a much bigger crisis. But the good news is it's moderated. But there is a nuance. When we ask customers to rank decision factors for where they take their car, appointment availability ranked lower. It's not top of mind until it becomes a problem, but when it does, it becomes a defection event. Think of it like a smoke alarm. Customers don't think about it until it goes off. Here's where the data really gets interesting. When we segment responses by customer loyalty, meaning how loyal their customers self-report they are to your dealership, a clear pattern emerges. For every loyalty group except extremely loyal, price actually overtakes a bad experience as the number 1 defection reason. The less loyal a customer is, the more likely they are to leave for a better price, which means price sensitivity and loyalty are directly linked. And building loyalty is one of the most effective tools you have for reducing pricing pressure. But even extremely loyal customers have a limit. Nearly half, 45%, of your most loyal customers say they would still go elsewhere after a bad experience. Loyalty is not a permanent shield. It has to be earned at every single visit. Location and appointment availability become increasingly important defection risks as loyalty declines. So for less loyal customers, convenience factors like more convenient location and limited appointment availability are significant vulnerability points. So here's the takeaway for dealers. You can't move your dealership, or at least not easily, but you can control scheduling, communication, and the ease of the experience. For less loyal customers, that's where the margin is. Now, here's a finding that I think most service managers didn't see coming, what we call the hidden defection trigger around tires. We've covered the big 3: bad experience, lower price, limited availability. But there's a 4th defection driver hiding in plain sight, one that shows up in the numbers every single year, costs dealerships real revenue, and almost always creates a path straight to one of your competitors. What we're talking about is tires. And I think this is the most surprising finding in this year's report. For the 3rd consecutive study, only about 1/3 of dealership service customers who purchased tires for their current vehicle bought them at their dealership. 2 out of 3 went somewhere else. Even among extremely loyal customers, the ones who say almost nothing would make them leave, only 42% bought their last set of tires from the dealership. So loyalty doesn't automatically transfer to tires. When customers go elsewhere for tires, they're most likely heading to a tire store franchise or a department slash big box store. And here's the critical point. Both of these retailers offer full service maintenance. So every lost tire sale is a potential lost customer to your dealership. But the good news is that here's the fix that's sitting right in front of us. Only about 70% of dealership service customers are even aware that their dealership sells tires. For extremely loyal customers, it's 74%. These numbers have held flat since 2020. When customers know their dealership sells tires, they're about 10% more likely to buy them there. So awareness alone moves the needle on the number of customers who will buy tires from you. Tire rotations are now the most frequent service need as oil change intervals have extended. That makes tires not just a revenue opportunity, they're a visit frequency driver. Dealerships that win on tires see customers more often. If you want to see some really good charts on this tire data, download our full report at drivesure.com/retention report. The data has given us the diagnosis. 2/3 of your customers are buying tires somewhere else. Nearly half would leave after one bad experience. And a quarter are already considering going somewhere else if they can't get an appointment when they want it. Now, let's talk about what to actually do about it. 3 tactical moves, things you can take back to your service drive and put into practice this week. Action step number 1, make every experience impossible to forget for the right reasons. A bad experience is the number 1 defection driver at 50%, which means the experience your service advisors deliver every day is your single biggest retention lever. Not price, not location, experience. So set a standard. For example, every customer gets at least one proactive update while their vehicle is being serviced. The data shows 72% of customers prefer text updates during the visit. This isn't hard to do in this day and age, and it dramatically changes how customers perceive the experience. Also, close every visit with a clear value summary. What was done, what it costs, and why, as well as when they should come back. Customers who leave understanding the value of what they received return at much higher rates. Action step number 2, fix the scheduling friction before it becomes a defection event. 26% of customers say limited appointment availability would cause them to go elsewhere. But most of them won't tell you that's why they left. They just won't come back. So audit your online scheduling experience from the customer side. Nearly 43% of customers prefer to book online, and if that experience is clunky, showing long waits, or confusing, you're losing customers silently. So consider pre-scheduling the next appointment at checkout from their current visit. Nearly 10% of customers say that's their preferred way to book. And for the other 90%, being asked doesn't hurt, and it dramatically reduces the chance that they drift to a competitor before their next service window. Action step number 3, own the tire conversation before someone else does. Only 70% of your customers know you sell tires. That means 30% are going somewhere else by default, not because they prefer it, but because they don't know you're an option. Make tire awareness a standard part of every multi-point inspection conversation. When customers understand the dealership is the go-to place for tires, they buy there more often. And when they're getting tire rotations at the dealership, they're coming in more frequently too. This is also where DriveSure's road hazard tire protection earns its place. It's the number 1 most valued amenity in our survey, selected by 56% of respondents. Customers who know they have active, renewable road hazard coverage through the dealership think of the dealership first when tire trouble hits. That's the moment you want to own. Today, we unpacked exactly what's driving your customers away, and the data doesn't pull any punches. A bad experience, a lower price elsewhere, or a long wait for an appointment, any one of those can send a customer to a competitor. And 2 out of 3 are already going somewhere else for tires, handing that competitor a path straight to their loyalty. The good news is that every single one of these defection triggers is preventable. The dealerships that are winning right now aren't necessarily the ones with the lowest prices. They're the ones closing the experience gap, making scheduling frictionless, and making sure customers know they're the go-to place for everything, including tires. If you want to see the full defection data, including the loyalty segmentation charts and the year-over-year comparisons, download the complete 2026 Dealership Service Retention Report at drivesure.com/retention report. Next week, we're getting into something that surprises a lot of dealers, the loyalty paradox. You'll hear why satisfied doesn't mean loyal, why customers who report a great experience still defect, and what appointment availability has to do with it. We hope you'll join us for that episode. Download the report at drivesure.com/retention report. Share this episode with your service team, and we'll see you next week.